Fuck.
All right, we are live. We are live.
Good
Let's
evening.
see.
Good evening.
I saw the craziest thing. I'm gonna. I will go. We'll break into the show, but I'm just gonna start off. I saw the craziest first comment I saw. Someone saying Charlie Kirk is dead, and you know what someone said right underneath? And it had 28,000 likes
Oh my gosh.
What was it?
on the announcement of Charlie Kirk being dead. So what we have for dinner? 28,000. That was
Wow.
like 20 minutes after he died. After it was announced he was dead.
I actually saw
People.
one tweet. Somebody said something along the lines of I don't even remember what they said, but it was they said something about Charlie said something don't exist, and it was like, well, now you know. Now Charlie Kirk doesn't exist. I was like, oh man, y'all, wow.
Wild
Yeah,
is an
people
understatement.
are. He said in his own words, he said, uh, you know, to have the Second Amendment right, people are gonna have to die,
He
and
definitely
he's
said
okay
that.
with that.
He definitely
Yeah,
said that.
like 2 years ago. Yeah,
I
they
mean,
got
just
video. It's been playing all over the internet right now of him saying that.
first of all, I didn't know who he was. Second of all, I saw the post on Instagram and I also saw those comments. And the person who posted it was just, it's
He
unfortunate
is
that.
the op.
Well, I mean, I think the bigger
Hold on.
thing is the blatant disregard for human life. That's the first thing. Ignorance, mm, we toting the line at that one because, yeah, we can eradicate ignorance and being right wing, but it's like, wow, when so many people are like, well, that's what he get. He deserves to die. It's kind of, again, fighting fire with fire. So I was blown away. Like, I had to figure out who he was. It was a whole thing for me.
You know, do you know who Charlie Kirk is and what he
No,
said? He's the one.
no.
He said after that crash, that plane crashed in Washington, the helicopter one. Right afterwards, oh, it should have it would have. No, I don't think he said that. About that, he said I checked to see if my pilot is black or not, and that's how I feel. I don't want. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a neo-Nazi. They just dress him up and, not, and never doesn't say never Nazi. He's a neo-Nazi.
Yikes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. DEI hires. He doesn't want any DEI hires as his airline pilots. Yeah.
So
So
people were
Oh,
like
this
happy.
was
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk said Palestine doesn't exist, and somebody was like, well, now Charlie Kirk doesn't exist. I was like, oh man,
Ooh.
that's crazy. But like, damn.
Yeah. I'm with you, Ivy. Like, I'm, yikes. But it
he
just,
he was one of the main proponents of people saying that black people are the ones who cause all the violence. That
oh,
he
wow.
was putting that out.
So it's believed that this was a karmic death.
On a large
I don't
scale,
know. I don't.
yes, I've seen it
I
on
think if
X.
you put it out there,
Yeah.
yeah. If you put it
Okay.
out there that you think guns are the solution to every problem,
Hmm. It's so unfortunate. I think it's right in line with what we're going to discuss this evening a little bit about. We're always going to talk about the fifth element in some way, shape, form, or fashion. By the way, good evening, fam. It's always good to
Yes,
be
yes,
here with
yes.
you all.
good
um,
good evening, good evening.
yeah, I mean, I think the right thing to do is not only to say good evening to you all, but to everyone who might be listening, and to immediately get into gratitude because I know I'm grateful that ain't nobody commenting like, oh, well, glad she's gone. Like, geez.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm grateful that I'm not Charlie Kirk's family. That's what
Oh
I'm saying.
man.
I'm not. It's not mean to say that. I don't want them to have to go through the grief and all of that. He had two kids, his family.
No, this is
I wish in his life's work, he could have. Uh, if no one knows and you're watching this later on, Charlie Kirk was just, I will say, assassinated because that's what happens to public figures. But yeah, I feel gratitude that I don't have to go through that grief, and I don't want anybody who's listening or anyone out there to ever feel like um, I don't care. I do have empathy. I do believe in empathy, even if Charlie Kirk himself, another quote from Charlie, is empathy is the problem. There's too much empathy.
He definitely
So
said that too.
he did.
yeah,
Really?
yeah, he was
The
not.
plot thickens.
He was basically the bullhorn for right wing ideology to the youth.
That's
And
a little
his
bit
whole
about what I
main
read.
thing was
Yeah.
his main thing was going to university campuses and preaching the gospel of right wing ideology. Basically,
Yikes.
it's the immigrants, it's the black people, it's the violence
Make
perpetrated by black
America
people and immigrants.
America again. Yeah.
And women's places are in the kitchen at home. They should not be working.
Yikes.
I in a strange world, I don't think I kind of agree with that. But I don't think anyone should be working. I don't think it should just be women. I think we've gone to a technological age that human beings don't have to work as hard as they're pushing this. We're only working for billionaires at this point.
Yeah. Which goes back to, your comment about ideology. Um, oh wow. We were supposed to be we were supposed to be talking about tech, but we can stay here right after IV tells us what he's grateful for.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm grateful to be alive.
No, real talk.
Uh, cause you know what I'm saying. They out here shooting people in the jugular and whatnot. Uh,
It's not
that's why
funny.
that's why I stay at the house. Yeah, I'm cracking jokes, and that's not funny for real. For real.
No,
It's not
I'm
really it's
saying
not
for
funny at all.
me to laugh. It's not funny. Like I feel you. I know it's real. Like out there, it's real.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a person that believes that like no matter what your political beliefs are, right? A person don't deserve to die over their political beliefs. Like this, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you might think some messed up stuff. Like Charlie Kirk kind of did think some messed up stuff, but like he's entitled to think like an asshole, in my opinion, right? Like, because to him and the people that follow him, he was a genius and a visionary and was speaking all the right words and exactly what America needs. I don't agree with that, but that don't mean that dude should die, right? Like,
Yeah,
um,
no, he definitely deserved a punch in the face, but yeah, bullet was a little too much.
yeah, exactly. And so, but I will say that it's kind of hard to feel bad considering the things and the messages that he was perpetuating. Um, I don't think he deserved to die, but at the same time, like, you know what I'm saying, like, it's one less person to spread that kind of vitriol that he was kind of spreading in some cases. Um, but you know what? Charlie Kirk is not the topic of our conversation tonight, even though he did kind of hijack the meeting in his let me stop
I
cracking jokes.
know, right?
Let me stop
Like
cracking jokes. But yeah, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
he did. And
What? Well, hold
again,
on. Rest in peace. Rest in hell.
Well, you know what
But
I'm saying?
but I don't condone the violence. I'm with you on that. And yeah, but nothing. Sorry,
I feel like
I don't want
rest
to
in peace
hijack what we're doing.
yeah, rest in peace might be a little too generous on my end, but uh condolences to his family. They didn't deserve that, you know.
yeah.
Hopefully he had life insurance.
Oh, he did.
Of course he did.
Yeah. Wow. I'm just taken back by the whole thing because again, I didn't know who he was. certain things I just tap out on. I'm really fascinated by humans that can consume, like that know what's going on all the time, especially when it comes to the media, which is why we're always talking about the fifth element, because I believe a lot of it is, and not to we don't want to be long-winded and go on because we really do. I'm really excited about tonight's show, but um we know this, the pandemonium, we know the scares tactic, we know all of the, again, the ideological subversion. It's like, okay, so this is happening, but this is actually way more important and happening and nobody's talking about it. So it just, the media and the buffoonery and all the politics, they just,
You said
it's very,
politics? Did you really
oh
say
yeah,
that?
yes, that's
Oh, true.
exactly what they are. It's daunting. It's just like, when will this stop? But to your point, Ivy, I will say this. I have realized with politics, when you said like it's not that serious, remember, it's an opinion. And that is what you behold. So you become that opinion. And it is that serious for them because that opinion, that's where your power
It's a way of
is.
life.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I died defending, and meanwhile we're over here like, yeah, no, like that's not, it's not cool. But you got to pay to play. It's just unfortunate that, again, as a woman, as a mom, I just think that the diminishing of human life is just like, there's no death sensitivity. It's just like, oh well, yeah, it's just another person killed, another 600,000 killed. Like, who cares? So it's
I
just
mean,
that, but like you said,
but that's
it's
crazy.
like,
And this is gonna be a topic, I guess. But like, um, how can you not be desensitized to it? Like, number one, now I don't want to give all the blame to this because I don't really believe that it deserves a lot of the blame, but it is a contributing factor, right? Video games. Ever since I'm gonna say Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto came out, not that it makes children more violent per se, or people in general, but it makes them a
it
little bit
does.
more decentralized. I won't say that I won't say that because you play violent video games, you're going to be more violent like outwardly. But I will say that because you play video games that show such violence, it becomes you become a little desensitized to the violence. Like so, But then on top of that, right? We're exposed to constant violence. People love to watch the fight videos. People were sharing that clip of Charlie Kirk, what I'm saying, like crazy. Like at first,
Yep.
the first one I saw was like it was a far away video, and then came back a little bit, a couple minutes later, and it's front row seat. You got a front row seat to see exactly what happened, and it's like,
Mhm.
wow, that's crazy. And to just kind of see that stuff, like it desensitizes you. Like it's not like I feel like at a certain point in time that kind of thing would make people like queasy, make them sick. But now it's just like, oh well, somebody else got shot, and then on top of that, every day almost it feels like there's a school shooting. So it's like oh, five more kids died.
There was a school shooting today, almost
It
at the
was a school
exact
shooting
same
day.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
in Colorado. Yeah, I don't think that anyone died, but there were like four kids that were killed. That were injured, maybe 4 to 6 kids. So yeah, yeah, right on that, right on cue. And there's been a lot of people who are saying, why are we even paying attention to Charlie Kirk? There are children who are dying. So there is a weird imbalance that's happening throughout the world.
but see,
But
that's a crazy thing too, because it's like Charlie Kirk got most of the attention because, so to speak, he like this is not really something you would expect, and this is a real messed up thing, like a thought process that I'm going on because like I'm auditing the thoughts as I'm saying them, and I'm like, man, this is messed up, and it's like Charlie Kirk is more surprising because it's like something you wouldn't typically kind of expect this to happen. Like this is something that's surprising, right? You don't normally see people like Charlie Kirk out doing their job, talking to people, and this happen. But like a school shooting, you know what I'm saying? We get those every day.
becomes normalized, right?
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
yeah, yeah. I mean, what you just said when you said it's desensitized. When you're like, okay, so these people are like, it really does disturb me. That's why I can't watch it. That's why I can't consume it. It's very disturbing to me.
So
And with your point with video games, imagery, absolutely. Whatever information, whatever you're consuming, you become. So yes,
it's
the argument is probably not there. Oh, if you play video games, you're going to be desensitized to death. No, that's exactly what happens. It's the same
yep.
thing when you watch scary movies. Like you might think, oh, it doesn't bother me, but whatever you're impressing upon your subconscious, it's going to come out. It may not. It may lie dormant for 20 years, and then you just wake up a serial killer. I'm just saying,
Oh
it's
man,
the the brain is just that sophisticated that you are being controlled by it. So whatever you
Yeah,
put in is what you get now, you know.
this
the way
doesn't
I
have.
look at it. Oh, go ahead. Somebody. Sorry. Go ahead. Black Simon.
What I was saying, what I was just going to say was, yeah, it definitely is our diet, but it's also our community, right? I think, a violent movie, um, or a violent video game, if there's no discussion around what is being depicted, and there's no interface to have that connection to what is being depicted, yeah, if we're very siloed in our society, and we're told that our feelings aren't shareable and they need to be shared, and we are not around a community that can support us when we have issues, then yeah, that it's really easy to turn that same dopamine hits that you get from a movie or a video game watching violence, that turns into the only things that feed you, and that can escalate, especially if you don't have the supports around you to deconstruct it and understand it. Um,
Extremely valid point. Extremely. So it there are so many arms and legs to this point, especially about community, about the importance of, because you could very well be discerning. You could very well know, well, this is not real. You're fine. But again, unless you release it in some way, unless you channel it in some way, talk about it, partake in activity, like, unless you do something with that information, it's stuck. That's it. Um, and just the way the brain works, it's going to come out. Uh, you might find yourself again beating a complete stranger one day. I'm just saying the way we think about violence now, it's deeply disturbing. So a lot of it, I just can't watch it. It's like, no, no, thanks.
Yeah. We
Mm.
got a comment on the Twitch stream. It says from one wise woman, "Hey twin, you look beautiful." I'm assuming they're talking to you because
Oh,
you're the only
hey,
one that's
twin.
on video. Um, but to kind of land on that, so we can kind of kind of move on. We were a little bit late to get the show started, but I think this is an important topic to talk about. Of course, it's also top of mind current events, so we can make some space for it. But the way that I kind of look at this, I look at everything through the perspective of like through a digital perspective, right? I look at essentially like us as humans. I kind of feel like this is gonna sound bad, but like I look at it kind of like main character and then like NPCs. And so it was funny because me and my wife were talking a couple of months ago, and she was like, "Am I your NPC?" And I was like,
Ivy,
"Kind of,
you did not.
basically."
Oh, I'm
But like,
hiding.
but
I'm
like,
hiding.
I'm also her NPC. Like I'm NPC in her world. Like I'm an NPC in her world. She's an NPC in mine. Right? Like when you think about it, you playing a game. The the secondary character maybe like this person, a character that a second player can control, or just like a companion throughout your game. Thinking like Last of Us kind of thing, where you got Joel and I forget Abby. No, I don't think it was her name. But the little girl who was with her with Joel, she's an NPC. But like in her world, she's the NPC, or she's the main character, and Joel is the NPC. Go ahead. What you about to say?
I when you say NPC, I think I'm hearing something else.
NPC is purely non-player character, right? So anybody
Okay.
who I can't control in my
Okay.
life, which is no everybody besides myself, is an NPC in my game, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? A
It's not.
non-player character, somebody that I can't act on behalf of. Like I
No,
can't
it's
be inside their body. Essentially.
no, it totally, and it doesn't sound bad. What you're, it's a metaphor. It's really rich though,
Yeah.
um, which actually kind of leans into the point about how we are viewing things and how we imagine things and how we correlate things. So I just have never at NPC. I'm like, I'm pretty sure my son has said it before, but I immediately, why did I think you were talking about an MPK? Like that's what I heard because you know the music. It's like NPC. No, is that a new? Yeah. So my bad.
Side note, they are supposedly coming out with new NPCs. Wait, MPC, the Music Production
NPC.
Center,
yes.
the Akai
Yes.
MPC. Yeah, they
Yeah.
are coming out with a new line of those relatively soon, I believe. Um, but that actually wasn't really. I was kind of mentioning that to build up on my point, and like the way how I look at things is more from a digital perspective, and like as you were saying, that like the things you feed yourself, that feeds your subconscious, right? Like to me, that's programming, right?
All
Like
day. Yep.
you are the way that we operate our experiences, they are functions that build up our program, our software, our system architecture, essentially. And so if your foundation,
Oh no. Did he just cut out? Gee, can you hear him?
Hear him
Or
either. I can't hear him either. Might have lost
oh,
him again.
come back to us.
how you're
Oh,
seeing violence, maybe in the home, you're seeing violence in the video game. That's for so if you don't do your schoolwork, things like that, you're setting the foundation for having a lack of academic success, right? And so that's how it's the very same thing. A program, you build it line by line, function by function, method by method. It's the same thing when you're talking about like um in life, right? The things you read, the things you eat, the things you see, they all build upon the foundation that becomes your operating system. Damn, that's crazy. That was a bar.
no, it was. I'm like, yo, what we doing? I ain't get uh outside of that, you're right. I mean, the again, the metaphor is rich because what I'm saying is, of course, the brain is the CPU. Like it's constantly processing the programming. And to G's point, where you don't have anyone to assist you with that processing, you just feed it line by line. Yeah, it's gonna take a toll. You're gonna get a virus or two, and then it's gonna crash. That's all I'm saying. But
Facts. Gotta
but
reboot.
yeah, like yeah, seriously, you gotta go get some new hardware. Which the fact that it's just that dispensable and disposable is just disturbing, like on a human level. But this also segues into the conversation about the differentiating species. Like I don't know if you guys have heard this, but in the very near future, we will need to identify ourselves as human. Um, and with reason. I mean, because when you guys were talking about those comments, I'm like, I wonder how many of these comments are bots. I'm like, can these
Yeah.
all be people? You know, the propaganda, right? So that's why this show is so interesting, and we need to get to it because I really wanted you to have your whole time, segment one, segment two, like, and I just wanted to talk about that my album a tiny bit, but other than that, yeah, I wanted to get into the dev stuff. So yeah, what you
Yeah,
got? What we
yeah, yeah.
doing?
So what we got first? So the first one is Ivy's tech intro. And this is, I guess, we can talk a little bit about some of the projects that I've been working on and what I've been doing. So I use Python programming language a lot, but and the kicker is, I know very little. I know, like, I understand the language and how it's written. I can read it, but if I was on a job interview and they were like, write a Python script on this napkin to do XYZ, I'd have some trouble. Because I didn't. I mean, I say I've taken some courses and stuff like that, and I do understand Python. I learned Java, so I do understand coding. But it's like when it comes to being able to fully sit here and just an application um without any assistance, I really couldn't do it.
Question for
I
you.
mean, no, I could do it. I could do it. It would just take me a much longer time to be able to do it because I would have to go and learn the syntax, understand all the intricacies of Python that I don't necessarily know. Go ahead with your question.
No, you just said it. And this is, I was going to ask you, do you attribute that to having the time to do it? This is a very
Yes.
important and valid question and conversation because, and it'll become evident to others who may be watching and listening, whether you're doing it now or later. But the tech conversation and us being invested in tech for our own safety, for the safety of our families, is so big right now. But it also speaks to how we haven't been at the table for so long, and so now in the catch up, we don't have as much time to just tinker and okay, oh one dot oh one dot slash, okay, that didn't work. It's the time. So
Hmm.
the tools that we are using to help advance that, because we know that's what race is, it's how fast you can get there, right? um, is key. So that's what I want to ask you. Like, do you think, Python, and this is why I haven't myself, like, haven't, mm-mm. Yeah, it's like I don't have time. I got a billion things going on. Do
That's
you
it. That's
think,
exactly it.
yeah,
Oh, go
like,
ahead.
do
Go,
you
go
think
ahead
you,
and formulate your
no, no,
question.
do you think you could navigate enough without knowing it fully based
Yeah.
on where you are? Okay.
Because I understand, so I do understand the language. I know how to read it, so I know when I'm looking at a function. I know when I'm looking at a variable. I understand the basic concepts of coding, and this is something I've said before. I do recommend if you want to be in software engineering, if you want to be in coding, because of the tools that are available today, I think it's foundational that you at least understand how code works
Mm-hmm.
and how to read the code so you can be able to say, okay, this is what's happening there. I understand that. You may not be able to look at it and then go and rewrite it without looking at it again, right? It might be too complex of a function. You may not understand the full logic of it, but you can say, okay, this function, okay, this is called send message, right? Okay, so this is pulling this variable from here, it's pulling that variable from there, it's adding these things together, it's concatenating this, it's printing this out. Understand those things and what that means, but I wouldn't be able to go from scratch and just write an application, right? But and so because that's kind of this has always been a thing. I've always kind of wanted to learn coding. I wanted to go back and finish up Java. I wanted to go and learn Objective C to do iOS development. And then once I got into AI and I saw that okay, a lot of people are using Python. Python is very versatile, so I took a course on Python. But again, at the end of that course, I'm not able to go and write a full application, but I can understand the concepts and how and like what things mean in Python. Like in Python, it's very important. Your indentation is very important because that can if your indentation isn't correct, then that can be the difference in some function being within another
Above,
method
right?
or
Yeah.
outside
Mm-hmm.
of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then with AI, right? Because now I understand how the code is supposed to look and work, and I can read it and understand what's happening. But AI is able to literally write the code for me. I literally built an application that I would not have been able to do without AI. I would not have been able to do in the time frame that I was able to do it in. I keep saying I wouldn't be able to do it without AI. I could do it without AI, right? It would just take me a much longer time to be able
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
whereas it could take me a month to build an application with AI, it might have taken me 3 months, 3 to 6 months to build that same application because I got to go and I got to learn the language, I got to understand the language, I got to build up my skills doing different, coding exercises and things like that, and then I got to go and start building the application and building in the logic, and then from there I gotta learn regex. I gotta learn all these different things
Right.
before I can put all of those tools together. Whereas with AI, I don't need to learn those things. I just need to understand what I'm doing and be able to verbalize what I'm doing, and in a way that the computer can understand and go and do that thing. And so that is where the game completely flips up on its head, because now I can build complete applications in a fraction of the time that it would have taken me to do so by hand. And that is just remarkable. Like for me, AI gives me superpowers. It allows me to do the things that I wanted to do much faster because now I can build and launch an app within a month or 2 months that would take me 6 months to a year.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely the time factor. So, quick question. When you said you took some of the basic classes, was there one in particular that you took to help you understand those basic concepts?
So when I was in college, I took Java, and so like I kind of understood kind of like the basics, like data types, data structures, which are like integers, strings,
Hmm.
characters, floats, doubles. I think those are the main ones in Java, and then you learn about methods, getters and setters. Getters and setters are essentially like a getter is something that goes and grabs a value or a variable. A setter is something that goes in and sets it. So you may go and get a value 5, and then you set the variable to the number 5 or whatever the data type is. But it's really just going and like being exposed to any programming language because they all are fundamentally pretty much the same. It's just the language in which you use to express what you're trying to do. So, like
Hmm.
in Java, the syntax is one way. In Python, the syntax is a different way.
Hmm.
In C++ is a little bit, it's different. Each one is a little bit different. And so, but the principles of coding are generally more or less the same. There's going to be little tweaks here and there from language to language, but, but at the end of the day, it's mostly pretty much the same. You've got variables, you've got functions, you've got methods. It's just how each of those things are implemented in
Yeah.
each framework.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so I don't want this to be like this is supposed to be the show you're supposed to be demoing. I'm just excited about like what you're going to show us. I know you've been working on a myriad of projects, and there was one in
Yes.
particular that we wanted to talk through. What's the name of it? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember.
Are you talking about my NIST Pocket Guide?
Yes, yes,
Uh, I actually think, pretty sure I have it on my website. I got like a little demo. Pretty sure I made that demo. Let's see.
because it's on. Is it just on Android or is it iOS?
It's on both.
Is it okay?
Yeah, actually, I think I can just share my phone screen. I believe,
Oh,
and
cool.
show it that way. If I can find the share button, there it is. It's amazing. I can see through this dang old headset. I can't see anything.
Yeah, it is amazing. Oh, hi, friend. Uh-oh.
Okay, I think you should be able to see my screen.
Mm-hmm. We can see the screen. Symbolic is with us. Maybe
Symbolic.
getting some crust out of the eyes.
All right, so this is my application on the App Store. So what this is called the NIST Pocket Guide. NIST is an organization called the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and they actually have so they're an organization that they do all kinds of stuff. They do artificial intelligence, bioscience, cybersecurity and privacy, energy, manufacturing, communication, quantum, and they have lots of different standards. And so what they do is they provide organizations, specifically like small businesses and federal organizations with guidelines that they can use to help secure their information systems. And so they have a document called NIST 853. It's called Special Publication 853. So let's see, 800, so I can show you guys what the actual document looks like. Um, let's see if I can find it real quick. There we go, 853. Guideline. Let's just search it on Google. It's gonna be quicker. 853 called Security and Privacy Controls for Systems and Organizations. All right. And so eventually down here, there's going to be a link to a document. There we go. And this is what that document looks like. So it's this 492-page document that's got, let's get to the meat of it. Let's get to the good stuff. Good stuff. This is boring stuff. This is boring stuff. Bunch of nonsense. Oh, okay, it's not nonsense, but you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
let's see here. All right. So I can't really okay. It's really hard for me to see this, but so this is a control for AC, is that two? Did I say two or one?
AC1.
Okay, AC1, policy and procedure. So it says to develop and document and disseminate to assignment. That assignment means okay, assignment organization defined personnel or roles. So in an organization, you're gonna have roles like the chief information officer, the chief information security officer. You're gonna have possibly like a system owner. You're gonna have a information system security officer, information system security engineer. Um, and so those are one of those roles where you're gonna have that have to be defined for in that assignment right there, the organization defined personnel. And then we've got select one or more organization level, mission business process level, system level access control policy that addresses you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. And so and then it's also got a little bit some guidance. So tell you kind of talks about like how this control should be implemented, gives you a little bit of industry advice, and then we've got related controls where it tells you other controls in the catalog that are similar to the control that you're looking at. And then control enhancements is talking about so certain controls have additional controls that are associated with that control. For example, actually AC2. So right here, the control enhancements. So they've got like sub controls that enhance that control's implementation. So for example, it might say, do you have a lock on your door? And that's a control. And then an enhancement might be, is there a secondary lock? You know, like some doors got the top lock and the bottom lock, right? So the bottom lock is just the base control. The top lock is an enhancement, right? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So this is what the PDF looks like. And so whenever you want to come to the PDF, you got to come in here, you got to go and you got to
Mm.
you can go find in page, you can go and you search, you can go AC2 and then it'll help you go through and find all the AC2 stuff, right? But you gotta go and you gotta shift through all of these documents. You gotta find what you want. So I was like, you know what? It would be nice if I just had an app where I could just kind of look this stuff up and I didn't have to go and find the PDF, download the PDF, pull it up in my browser. I could just pull my phone out and go and look. So then I went and I looked on the App Store, and there was one that existed, but it was of the old version of the catalog. So there's version 3, version 4, version 5. And the app that was on the App Store only had version 3 and version 4. It did not have version 5, which was the newest version. So I was like, yeah, cool. Bet. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make the version 5 application. And that's what I did here. So can you see your little box for the Zoom thing, or can you see my full screen?
No, I see me in the box, but I see
Okay.
the screen at the top. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Now perfect. Okay, so now we see all of the screen.
So my 853 pocket guide. So you go here, you can go controlled by family. So each control, so there's actually a couple of supplementary documents. So one of them has baseline assignments. And so baseline assignment is a high, a moderate, or a low. And that depends on the type of information that the system will process. So for example, let's just say that you are going to the DMV. When you go to the DMV, you got to verify your phone number, your name, probably your social, your address, and they store all that information on their system server somewhere. And so, because they store your personal information, your personal identification information, that system has to be rated at a moderate level. There's another NIST document that goes through and it has hundreds of information types and it categorizes them based off of three metrics called confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And so it gives them a score. So each one's got either a low, moderate, high confidentiality, integrity, or a low, moderate, high availability. And that helps you to determine what to classify your system as and how many controls are potentially applicable to that system. So the low baseline has X amount of controls. The moderate baseline has X plus whatever, and then the high baseline has X plus Y plus Z. The low controls, the moderate controls, plus additional high level controls. Y'all follow me, or am I losing you?
No, it's all it's process, procedure, protocol. That's what
Yes.
you need to know to build something. Okay.
And so because of those different there's a baselines and then there's also another document that talks about how to properly assess each control. So it gives you things that you should be looking at. It gives you different methods to test. So whether it's okay, you want to be looking at a system security plan, or you want to be looking at an access control policy, or you want to look at a system inventory to see what devices they have in their information system, right? Okay. Um, and so with that, I use some of the information to formulate, what you see here. So we can go controls by family, and then there's this list view, and then there's also this little like grid view that I created as well. And so you click into a family AC, and then right here you've got a little control card. And so what you're actually seeing here is actually the paid version of the application. The free version is a little bit simpler, and then it does not include search, it does not include notes, and it does not include favorites. So like favorites, you can mark that control as your favorite, and then you can come back here, you click the favorite button, and boom, the AC one that I just favorited is there, which
So
I think is pretty. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was about to say it doesn't include search.
The free version does not. The paid version does include search. The free version you just kind of
Wow.
have to go through
Yeah.
and look at into control. Obviously, I want people to get the paid version so they can
No,
get
I'm
all
like,
the
yeah, that's a
productivity and stuff.
hard conversion. Like, oh, you gonna pay for
You
this.
know. But I think I personally I think it's worth it. Obviously because I
I
made
do
it.
too. If you're
Um,
accessing that much information
absolutely,
repeatedly, yeah, and you're having to do this as part of your process to build and to ensure it's correct,
absolutely.
I see the value in it for sure.
And this app is very, very, very cheap compared to other similar tools like it. So there's also that. But anyway, you can go ahead and favorite. And favorite is really powerful because then you don't have to go back through. Okay, AC1, AC2. Got to go back to the menu. You go to your favorites. You be like, okay, I'm always talking about whatever control this is. You favorite it, and you go back to it, and then it's real quick and easy. But then we get here where so like if you look at the PDF, right? Let's go back up to the base control. So everything is all uniform. Obviously except for the top up there where you got the
Yeah.
bolded, but everything it's all in line, it's all uniform. And it's kind of hard to tell where those where these like assignments are, right? Because they're just in line. And so what I did was I was like, I'm gonna make it easier for people to see what they need to see, right? Yeah, develop and document and disseminate. And this is that bold is what has to be defined by the organization. or by the system, and so you can quickly see. Okay, I need to define what official is supposed to do this on B. What frequency I'm supposed to review the policy at, right? And then we've got the guidance here as well, that same guidance that was in the document. And then we've also got the that control doesn't have any enhancements, but you can see also the related controls here. So you can go through here, you can go and you can find the related controls that go to those tags. If you go to AC2, AC2 actually has enhancements. And so you can see, okay, those enhancements that are there. And that is uh the big part of the 853 module. But another big part of it is the baselines. And so we've got the low, moderate, and the high baselines. And so you can see all the controls that are part of the low, medium, moderate, or high. Oh, and also there's a privacy one. So I also created the feature, and this kind of comes into play later, where you can create your own baseline. Where so in certain organizations they may have specific requirements, and so you can go through and select all of the controls that you want to select for a baseline. Where that comes in handy is that if you have the pro version, you get access to the systems and SSP tab. And so this was what allows you to build what we call in our industry system security plans. And it's essentially where you go in. And so here I can select my baseline, but I can go, if I created a baseline, that baseline will show up here. And so I can select that and then just enter any controls related to my system. And so when you select the baseline, it populates these. This is gonna get I'm getting a little bit into the weeds here. So I may lose some people. Um but go in here, you can say, okay, uh that is the wrong screen. So we're gonna go here to control objectives, and we're gonna go here, right? Each control in one of those supplementary documents that I mentioned earlier, the one about the baseline, the one about the assessment methods, there are specific objectives for each control. And so what I did was I actually used AI to create all of these really easy to kind of understand questions, like, is there a documented access control policy in place? You say, yes, there is. Okay. All right. And so this is why we have an implementation statement. So this is a statement that shows the implementation level of the control that you're looking at, or the objective that you're looking at. For this particular objective, we're trying to find out if there's an access control policy in place. And then we're going to build an implementation statement based off of that. And so we're actually not going to build the implementation statement. It's already been built for us, and it's got parameters that need to be replaced. So if you see here, you got an access control policy is developed and documented, outlining access control requirements and procedures. This policy is documented in, what's the policy document name? Okay, let's put the policy document name. It's going to be called access control policy. Access. This is supposed to update, but we may need to look into that. Yeah, okay. So this is supposed to update, but it's not. I don't know why. I'll have to look into why this is not updating the way it's supposed to. But anyway, you go access. If I can read, if access control, and then go here, and you can add values if they aren't there. But this is not working properly for some reason, and so then we apply that value. So this is access control, and then that's why, because that's for frequency. Oh, duh. Okay, so the frequency is going to be, let's say, annually,
Mm.
and then document name is going to be, there we go. Uh, let's just say access control policy. Um, and then access. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. How do we get here? Okay. So I filled in those three values, and now our implementation statement is completely filled out. And so what you can do is you can save that. I believe you can copy. You can copy that. You can send it to yourself, and then you can import it into whatever the tool is that you actually use for your organization to make implementation statements. And then also, there's a button in here somewhere where you can export it. You can export the statements so that you can actually build the security documentation. And so things are still being worked on. I'm still kind of polishing things off and making sure that. And so yeah, you can export the full system SSP. It shows you everything you got here. And there's actually a standard called the Open Security Control Assessment Language, and that is what we're looking at here. This is the OSCAL format or for the document. And so it's going to include all of the system information, all of the control implementation information, and it can be exported in a way that's machine readable and used in different types of tools that are made for these types of processes. Are y'all bored yet?
Yo, yo,
Yo,
This guy busts on the
hey.
scene.
are y'all asleep yet?
No,
No, I have
yeah,
questions.
yeah. I just want to jump on and be like, "What's up?" Shout outs from Kenya. Yo, y'all, you made this stuff, so big ups. To adapt it and adapt it into a project, into a product. Uh, Hello, look at this. This is what I'm looking at. It's like daytime. There's waves. If I don't even know if you can see it, but like, damn. I woke up and am in the house, and big ups and respects to y'all for running things.
No, for sure. We were like, I figured you were probably sleeping because you guys had like fun on the beach. So we appreciate you for even waking up. It's still early, like waking up and joining us. Like mad
It's
love.
dark. It's dark early,
Nice.
but yo, yo, respects y'all.
For sure, for sure. And if you already know if you need more rest, like for sure. I mean, in the meantime, I'm like, okay, I got questions.
Let's
What's up? What's
go.
up?
So, how expansive is that search? Because I'm assuming that this app is ideal for fellow programmers, possibly security specialists. Like,
Yes.
I'm looking for your target, but I'm also looking for how granular the search is because there was one of the screens that you were like, okay, so here's the information, but then, it's meta tagged, if you will. So, could you just search by tags or can you search by just one? I saw the different types of searches, but could you, if you were just using, I'm thinking about how somebody would benefit from the free version, but I'm also looking at how expansive the paid version is because it's
So the
accessing
free
information
version,
quickly. Like that's what it looks like.
yes. So the free version is intended to just give you access to the information in a mobile way that's much faster than
Then bringing up a
using
PDF. Yeah.
the PDF or the web application. There is a web application. Oh man, there's a web application. It is pretty good. But also the other selling point of the application is that it's completely offline. If you need
Oh,
to
nice.
if you need to use it in a secure environment, you can do so because you don't have to be connected to the internet to use the application. If you got bad signal, doesn't matter. You can still connect it. If you forgot your laptop or if you don't have your laptop, whatever the case is, you can still use the information in the app because it's offline. It's once you download the app, it downloads everything to your phone, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So that's one thing. The search, I believe, you can basically search any word related to a control, and if that control has that word anywhere in it, whether it's in the statement or the guidance, it'll
It's
find
gonna
it.
pull it up.
So like
Okay.
authorization.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was fast too.
Yeah, very much so.
And so this has got any control, all the controls that mention the word authorization in them. And so, you can go through, oh, I was looking for, whatever control. And I have to go back and work on the order, make sure that the order's in like alphabetical order.
I was
Uh,
thinking that. I was just thinking that.
yeah. So
But
there's
I
a,
also saw. Oh no, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying that I need a couple people to do some testing for me so I can kind of find these bugs more quickly because then everything on your own is
It's
a little,
tough.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I was wondering who your target was. The other thing I wanted to say was I'm assuming it's super relative, but I just liked right away how you went to the one screen and at the bottom there was a spot for notes. So I'm assuming when you're doing the different implementations, say for instance, say you're a dev, you're a software designer, you're doing what you do and you might be doing this for several companies, having that
Hmm.
notes box, I would imagine you would put, something relative, maybe for this company,
Hmm.
company A, or I don't know. But I thought that was cool right there. Yeah, I'm like, that's pretty cool.
So this part right here is more so intended for. I mean, and you could use it that way. This is more intended for general notes related to the control. Obviously, anybody can use it
Mm,
however they see fit.
yeah.
But when you're talking about doing having different clients or doing different systems, companies, whatever the case is, that is where the systems and SSP section comes in, and this is where you can put in. Well, I'm having a hard time saying. This is where you can go and you can have a system, right? I put IBM. I was just testing because IBM is a real big company in the tech space. So I was just going IBM and you can kind of maybe I should put a note section. Once you got system details, you can put like general system notes here and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I can put in just like I could make it so that on the actual controls, you can have notes for different situations.
And maybe that's part of the testing, somebody would, what's the intent and purpose of the note, to see where it's best positioned. But I just thought it was like cool, like, maybe you could put, again, it because it's reference. That's really what it is. It's quick reference.
Yeah.
The fact that you can export, okay, so here's what this, give this to the organization right away so we can implement this, change this, do this, what have you. But it sounds like it's redundant, and you're really chopping down that redundancy by having it freely accessible, and it's offline. I know you said you use AI to, because it's a lot of information. Did you use AI to rebuild it in any way, to like bold it, highlight it, or was this something that you basically, did you vibe code it, or did you use just like a base model and just improve upon it?
No, this is completely from scratch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got to get my life together. I
Yeah,
get
I
my
have
life
more
together.
questions about the vibe coding part. So you said, did you? And I want personally. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm
No, you're fine.
more like, how did you conceive? What was the structure of your concept? Like, did you draw it out as like boxes with little words? Did you do a flow chart? How did you like conceive? And then what was the next step?
Oh yeah. So what was your UI and UX? What did that look like?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Those
I
words.
did hold on, I'm gonna have to stop sharing real quick because I don't want to show something I ain't supposed to show. Let me see. Hold on. I can show y'all a little bit of what I did here. Wait, y'all, can you see my screen?
No, we see you, and then the
Okay.
other. Yeah.
So, oh man, it's tripping. It's not showing my full library of stuff. Let me check the website. See if I can see it up there. Am I still in the Zoom here? I think I am. Yeah, I am. All right, but so here I'm going to share from my desktop. Too bad I can't see anything. All right, whatever.
Hardware goals. It's like, okay, I got this computer, this hardware. It's like, I gotta
Yeah,
get
I
my
got
life together. Once I stop
Zoom
traveling.
about to quit. Um,
What what like steps can be taken to get to that? And I'm on the same page in terms of Rashawn is the amount of ideas that I didn't realize we were there in terms of uh leveraging AI to turn it into a thing
For
right
sure.
now.
For sure. I mean,
Are
even
we
with
still
the,
streaming?
we are still
Oh, we
training.
are. Okay, so,
Mhm.
okay.
That's one of the other purposes when we think about AI helping you build your UI faster, helping you to establish what testing you want to do so that you can create a really rich UX. Like it's so doable. Whereas, yeah, before you are drawing things out, thinking about the engineering process, thinking about the even the scientific process. You're looking at, okay, so I have to check all these boxes as manual. I'm writing these down. I'm deliberating, ideating over and over and over again. This is where our trusty robot friends are just doing that work for us. So it's not it's where we say, okay, yes, there are some cons on one side, but then there is a huge opportunity to bring what we are envisioning to life much faster, much quicker, and you can learn as you go. I think that's the biggest
Yeah,
thing. It's
absolutely.
if I don't know anything about this, it's like, okay, hello robot, tell me what I need to know about building this. Now what do I need to
How
know?
do you do this?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
I'm looking at my wife, all these, how did she get ChatGPT to do this? It's all violent and stuff, damn. I'm surprised it even made this stuff. Uh, But here's some stuff you can kind of see. I was kind of prompting ChatGPT to give me like ideas for my UI here. I don't know if I can make it bigger. Yeah. So when you saw the app, it does kind of look similar to this. Not exactly, but this was the idea that I had.
You prompted the
Kind of just got.
visual?
Hmm. Yeah. I told it
Wow.
like what I wanted to look like, and then it gave me. This is actually even more advanced than what I started with. So I was actually working on a these are like glyphs and symbols for a game I was making. Um, but I got I get too spread out. I start working on 5, 6 different
Yeah.
projects at the same time.
Yeah.
But so this is kind of what it used to look like. This is the earlier iteration. Like it actually did look like this at one point. I think this is like a screenshot that I had, or like a mock-up that I had to make. And this was an older version of the app.
Just short
And
and
so
sweet.
right here is where like where all of the stuff was happening. So it's like these are like
I
I'm
don't, are
iterating
you
like
showing us? Share the screen. I think
Oh
I don't
yeah.
sure
see it.
You can't see it?
No.
Oh
I
no.
I can
Maybe.
see it on my end. It
Ah,
on
okay.
Twitch
My bad.
on Twitch it's a little delayed, but yeah, I can see it.
All
yeah.
right.
So these are kind of like my iterations of the different of what I was going for. I forget what the prompts were. I don't think it'll show me what the prompts were, but these are like the mock-ups I was making to try to figure out. So this is where I came up with the button ideas of when
Mhm.
I showed you the grid view. And so yeah, these were my wireframes and mockups for you see the search at the top and then the controls here and the favorites, the grid view, explore by family. That's kind of where all of that stuff came from. So
So did you reverse engineer any of it? Did you say, okay, here's the end result and I'm making it for these people. Here's how it should look. And not to get too deep into your creative process, I'm just
A little bit,
curious
yeah.
because I don't use chat.
Um,
I know everybody uses chat. I don't use chat, and I know they can be similar, but
yeah. So I did. So I was doing like, okay, I'm making this app for security professionals. It's supposed to be a mobile offline only app. And then it will give me some code. I'll put it into the thing, and then I will review it. And like, because Flutter has what's called hot reload, where you change some code, and then you can just it'll automatically update the view on the on your
mm,
device, so you can see the code changes you're making in live in real time. And so I use a bunch of different tools for this. I use ChatGPT, I use Gemini, I use AI Studio.
mhm.
I use. Then eventually I settled down into VS Code, and VS Code is where I've been for a really long time, because VS Code allows you to directly edit the code instead of having to copy and paste it back and forth in the ChatGPT or whatever thing you're using. It's a lot more comprehensive, so it can have more memory of what your coding project is. And so when you're doing it with ChatGPT or Gemini, if your app is more than a few pages long, things get to be very
Yeah,
complicated
yeah,
because then you got to put all the dependent files into the thing so it can have that as a part of its knowledge base so that it doesn't hallucinate. One thing that is really bad that I've experienced is the hallucinations in terms of you get it to add a feature, but it has no knowledge of what you've already built. So it builds that feature, but it builds it to in a way that is not compatible with the rest of the application. For example, you might say like, I have a chat bot, right? You got a chat bot in your app, and you want to improve the chat bot. It might create an entirely new chat bot window instead of just working from the chat bot that you have already built, if that makes sense. So it might build a completely new module instead of just going back to the
yeah.
old module and improving that one.
Right,
And so
right.
then you have the potential to get duplicate code and have glitches where you may open up a window and it's like hitching or it's like not loading properly, things like that. But and then also one the thing that used to happen to me a lot when I first started with this, and this was probably 2 years ago now, is I would get to a point, I would tell it, hey, I'm having this issue. It would give me code, and then that code would create another issue. I would try to fix that issue. I would fix it, and then it would bring back the first issue. And so I would just get into a loop of, okay, this I'm having this issue. All right, and then I try to fix that, but then that pops up another issue, and then I fix the new issue that pops up, and then it sends me back to the other issue. But then it's a cycle. I try to fix it, it sends me to another one, it brings me back. Fix it, another one brings you back.
What's the
I
term
can't.
for that? Do you know the term for it? Because I
I
noticed
don't think
Canva
there is
AI
an
does
official
that a
term
lot.
for it.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It as it.
Definitely.
I've experienced it using it for effects and graphic design as well. And
Here,
yeah,
hate it.
I think that the fact that these chat AIs don't really have a memory, like they can review documents and they keep them as partial as far as I understand, but they don't really have like some segmented memory of what you're actually doing. So
Which
um,
I think that
Yeah,
would be a little bit more close to consciousness, but that's a whole nother conversation.
the
I,
VS
So
I
Code has that.
honestly, everybody's working on it, right?
no,
Everyone's
for
trying to
real.
figure out.
For real, for real.
You want to be a billionaire tomorrow?
VS Code
Figure out how
really.
to give AI memory, a
Yeah, and I'm
short-term memory, not even
y'all
a
gonna be
long-term.
y'all gonna be like, where Rashawn at? So she figured it out.
Yeah, so VS
Hey,
Code actually has some of that in it where it can like look at your code. It can look at the different things in your like let me see.
Wait,
You
where
can
are
go
we?
in. This
Oh,
is
in
VS
VS
Code.
Code? Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so the way that this works, I have it set up where these are your files, my files over here. These are like the different like tabs and menus. So this is This is the Git. So this is where you can like update, push your Git pushes and put your code into like a in like Bitbucket or GitHub or GitLab or whatever you're
I was about
using.
to say, so you don't actually have to go to GitHub. You can just really,
Yeah,
you can
you
just
just push.
update it there.
Yeah, you just push it straight from VS Code. You got your modules here, and you got everything from Python, Dart, Flutter, C++, any basically any programming language, and then also like a lot of like tools as well. GitHub Copilot, Claude. I don't think Claude's in there, but like Windsurf, um, Gemini is in here. Uh, various tools for like containers or using Microsoft Azure or using Gemini, just all kinds of things that you can MCP servers, which are model context protocol, which allow it's essentially think of like a USB drive for your LLM. It allows you to like allow it to connect to different websites or different data sets, things like that. And the one thing that I think is very important is documentation. And so you see here, every time I add a feature, I'll say, write a blog post about what we just did, write a blog series about what we just did. And so I've got probably hundreds of blog posts, uh, maybe even no, probably this is definitely probably like hundreds of blog posts for just various different things. So my thing now is I'm working on trying to market my app better so that I can, get more users, obviously get more money, you know what I'm saying? Um, and so get more exposure. So you got 30-day marketing plan. You got 750K problem. 750K problem is like that's how much money that organizations can spend on documenting their security processes and and creating their security documentation as well. And so there's I'll go and I'll show a couple more things, and then we can end, and then maybe we can come back in, I don't know, 3 weeks and talk about some more. But my folder here, not this folder, but I'll have to go into another one. Open folder, and then we're gonna go to not my drive. It's wrong. Can I develop? I think it is in scripts. I want to open this one. Open this folder up. All right, and so we have in my lane chain. Give me a moment. I have to. My folder structure is terrible. If you can't tell, I just gotta find project. Yeah, style, but I told you guys about that. Where? What are we looking for? Outputs? Is it here? Um, spot. Hold on. Let me think. What was it called? There we go. Need to figure out where this is at. Okay, here we go. So what I would do is I would go to, here's something called this is called a Jupyter notebook. Jupyter is like an anagram of a bunch of different programming languages. I forgot what they were, but essentially, I wish I could make this bigger. Why can't I? What's the little buddy thing here? So a Jupyter notebook, I'll try to explain this as best as I can. What this is, it breaks your code up into chunks, and so you can essentially test different functions of the code. So for this one, obviously, agentic workflow, Google Drive to pillar post and LinkedIn post. What this is doing is I will go to Gemini and I will do a deep research. The deep research will give you anywhere between 10 to 50 pages of research content, up to hundreds of sources about a particular topic. And so what I'll do is I'll take that long, deep research. I will send it to Google Vertex, which is Google's AI large language models. It'll summarize that long research paper into a 3,000 word pillar post, basically like a long article or a long blog post. And then I'll take that and I'll break it up into four different LinkedIn posts. And so then I'll take each of the LinkedIn posts, I'll post those to LinkedIn, and then I'll take the long pillar post and I'll post that to my business profile on LinkedIn. Or at least that was the intent. So you see right here, number one, you install and import required libraries. So you go ahead and this is just testing your imports, making sure everything works, make sure everything is in all the dependencies are installed in the virtual environment. And then you upload your deep research. You so if I did this, if I go through the process, I'll go uh and then I gotta select my environment. I got that today. Okay, we'll connect to the kernel. All right, and we're importing. All right, so something's not installed. I need to go and I need to install that module, right? And so you can actually just uncomment that line and then do it again. It'll install everything that's needed. So this line right here, it just goes and it's like, okay, just install, make sure that everything that I need here is installed. And so this goes ahead and does that. LangChain with Vertex AI. This is the LangChain, and LangChain is a module that helps to build agentic workflows, to build agents and to use like LLMs and integrate that into your scripts. Highly recommend learning about LangChain, LangGraph. Um, those are great tools. Okay, so you see that little check mark right there? That means that it's done with this step. All right. And so now we go to the next step. And this step is there was supposed to be a little window that popped up. Maybe not. I think maybe it comes here. What's this? What's going on? This might no, it should be though. All right, let's try this one. All right, something must not be working. I don't. I might have to troubleshoot this. But what's supposed to happen is supposed to pull up a pop up window where I can select my research, my document that I want to start with. Um, why is it not worth it? What's going on here? It's doing something. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but anyway, it's supposed to be a little thing that pops up here where I can upload my document into it, and then it will create the pillar post. So this one will take it and it will send it to the LLM and make the pillar post, and then it'll go through all of this code. I feel like there's some errors here. This is probably why. Where's these import statements right in the middle? And so this is what I mean when I know when I say I know how to read the code, right? I'm looking at this and I see, okay, cool, whatever. The pillar post, you are a content writer. This is the prompt that it's going to give the LLM to in order before it goes through, and these are the instructions that I give it so that it will go and make the pillar post into the four parts. And then it gives you the research content. The research content is the content that was created from up here. Sorry, my computer's kind of jumping a little bit. So the research content goes up into this batch of code. It comes down here, and then it goes through this code. And so I was saying this is weird because it's got import statements, and these are typically at the top of the file. I don't know why they're smack dab in the middle of the file. all I would do is just say, "Hey, what's going on with this? Why are these here and not at the top?" And then it'll be like, "Oh, you're right. Let me move these up to where they're supposed to be at, et cetera, et cetera." Is that my laptop? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. And so then the next step is to generate the LinkedIn posts. So this is your LinkedIn content strategist using the following pillar posts, whatever, whatever. Each post should be approximately 450 words. Pillar post is going to pull up the pillar post, which is from the previous step, and then it's going to send that to the LLM, and it's going to output. It's going to output the documents that I want, right? And so here we go. This is AI in your career, essentially. I was like, all right, let's do some deep research on AI and jobs. And so this is a pillar post that's got the different parts, part one, part two, part three, and part four. And then I've got my LinkedIn document, and that's gonna create the four LinkedIn posts. So you got LinkedIn post one, LinkedIn post two, LinkedIn post three, and then LinkedIn post four. And each one of those is like a little subtopic of the overall larger topic from that pillar post. Any thoughts, questions? Did I lose you?
No, we're still here. Well, I'm still here. We're still here.
So yeah, and this is a small glimpse into the things that you can do with the LLMs, with Python, with VS Code, and with AI. This
I
is
mean,
just one.
it's kind of like a is it kind of like a developer's wallet? Is that what VS Code is essentially?
Yeah, developer. Sorry, VS Code is an integrated development environment, and it's one of the more popular
Yeah.
ones because it's got so many extensions that you can use it with any coding language. So if I wanted to code in Python, I can do it really easily. So, I just create the file and boom, I'm going. I'm up and running. I can go.
Mhm.
I can easily switch to Java. I can then switch to Flutter. I can then switch to whatever programming language, all within the same project. And I
Yeah.
don't have to refresh the workspace or download any new tools or switch to another IDE or anything like that. And there's lots of extensions, lots of community support, and I love it. GitHub Copilot Chat is my best friend. I love it.
Yeah, I
Next
think
time we
that's pretty
talk,
dope.
we can
Yeah.
go through and we can look at the agent mode. We can kind of go through VS Code and look and see what it has. We got Ask mode where you can ask it a question and it doesn't do anything on your behalf. It just provides you with an answer. Obviously, it's ask. You got agent mode where it'll actually go and it'll do stuff for you. So I'll do a quick demo of agent mode, and we'll just build something real quick. New window, and you can't see that window. I will have to stop the share. All right. So let's make this a little bit bigger for you. We'll just go back into my scripts folder, and we're gonna just do. I got a file or a folder. All right, what do we want to build? What y'all want to build right now? We're gonna do something real quick. What y'all trying to build?
Oh man, that's such a good idea. How about a news app about just tech updates only? Or maybe it's not an app, maybe it's just like a constant feed.
I want to create a RSS feed with tech items. All right. I want to build an RSS feed that sends tech articles to my Telegram channel. I'll help you build an RSS feed that sends tech articles to your Telegram channel. This is a great automation project. Let me start by planning the task and then exploring your workspace to understand the existing structure. Says, let me explore the existing Telegram bot folder to see what's already available. Now let me check the workspace structure to more broadly understand the project layout. Perfect. Now I'll create a comprehensive RSS Telegram bot system. Let me mark the first task as completed and move on to the next. I'll create a comprehensive RSS to Telegram bot system. Let me start by creating the main RSS feed parser. And so now it's running, it's doing its thing, and it just, oh, nope, it's good. And so we're actually using the Claude Sonnet 4 model, which is my favorite model from for GitHub Copilot. And this is actually an additional paid model. You have to pay a little bit extra for this one, but it's very much worth it. Um, I'll show you this one this time. We are approaching 11 o'clock, so we're kind of way over. But the next time, I will show you the differences between Sonnet 4 and GPT 4.1. Very vast differences between the two, and Sonnet 4 is just much, much easier, in my opinion, to use than GPT 4.1 or 4.0. It's not even close either. When I run out of money, like I have a budget set, and when I run out of money, it's a sad day when I hit my budget
Oh no.
because I got to use GPT 4.1, and it's like, man, I got to tell this thing to do everything for you, whereas Sonnet 4 just kind of goes, and each of them have their strengths and weaknesses because like sometimes Sonnet goes off on like a little tangent, and like it'll end up doing a bunch of stuff that I don't want it to do, and so I have to stop it and course correct, which is fine. Um, I think that little trade off is well worth the is well worth it based off of how Sonic 4 performs versus GPT. Well, I'll show you guys, and then if if you have some time, go ahead and wait a second. Can you not see this full window?
No, it's still on the Visual Studio Code Insiders screen.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah, we can't see any of
I thought.
that.
Okay, hold on. There we go. There we go. Now you can see it. So I was reading that stuff out loud, and that was what this is. I'll help you build RSS feed. I'll help build the RSS feed that sends the tech articles. Let me see the existing Telegram bot. So I do have a Telegram bot folder in here. I don't remember what it was for. Um, Actually, let's look while it's doing it. Oh, there's nothing in there. That's why. And so now it's creating all the things, but I don't know where is it creating stuff out.
Well, didn't it say so? It does the same. It's showing the logic and well, it's showing its thinking, which
Mm-hmm.
is how you get to learn with it. But didn't it say there was nothing in that folder already?
It didn't. It just said that it was reading it. It didn't say if there was anything in there or not. Um,
Oh,
but yeah, so this is actually, yeah, you're right. This is how you kind of learn. It's gonna tell you what it's doing. This is how you become familiar. So like a lot of issues with vibe coding is building something and not understanding how it works.
right, right.
Um, and so if you follow instead of just letting it do what it's doing and setting it and forgetting it, you follow along with the thought process. Okay, now I'll create this comprehensive Telegram bot system. Now I'll create the bot integration. Now I'll create the main application. Now I'll create the scheduler component. Now I'll create the configuration files and the setup scripts. And so it's like, okay, I can see what it's doing. I understand how it's, what decisions it's making. And so it might say like, I might say change the color to blue. and then it'll say, okay, let me change the color to blue. Oh, the file is corrupted. Let me revert it. Oh, when I tried to change the color to blue, it didn't work. Let me change the
Yeah.
color back to red. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, don't change the color back to red. Change the color to blue. And then it'll go and it'll do that. Allow. So I don't know. It usually creates the files, but it's not creating the files right now. I don't know what's going on. I guess we will see. We can play around with this until 11 o'clock, and then we will go ahead and adjourn for the night. But this is so you can kind of see how it works. Even though this is kind of a poor demo at this point because it's not showing you much about how it works, but um, we'll figure it out. Let's see. We'll see what's going on. We got 7 minutes to see what's happening. Um. Oh, you know what? It might be. Oh, this it seems to be doing that. Scripts. Because I'm thinking that it would put in the files here, but it doesn't seem to be doing so.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so something is wrong because it's telling me it made all these files, but I don't see any of these files. Am I looking in the wrong folder? All right, so that's cool. So it's like, okay, I don't see these files. What did you say? The sequence files weren't created successfully, and then we create them all at once. I'll start by creating
Mm.
files. Occasionally this happens. But let's see, is it actually creating files though? Is it? Hold on. Make sure it's not putting stuff where it don't belong. Ah, see, there we go. It did something.
Uh-oh.
Probably just because it's still being made.
Is this is this considered hallucination? No, it's not really hallucination. It's just trying to fix this error. It's trying to
Yeah, I think there might be a permissions
figure out.
error or something going on. I'm
Oh,
not
because of the
entirely
folder.
sure. Yeah, it could be a folder issue because this folder's in Google Drive. So actually, let me go to a different folder and try it again. How do I see it? Go to a different folder with better permissions. Oh, it could also be that it's not up to date. Let me update the software. So let's try this one more time. You guys can still see the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
This thing over here. Let's go. Oh, and
Yep.
says. All right, try again. Create an RSS feed Telegram bot in the Telegram folder. All right, cool.
that whole, oh, what a creative project. You know how I did before, like, oh, what a cool project, and how I'm still like
Yeah.
taken back
So
when they do that.
so now it's doing the thing. So it's creating the files. You got the env file, which is environment variables. It's gonna have your passwords and URLs and things like that. You've got our requirements file. This is gonna have all the dependencies that we're gonna need to build the application. Um, Git ignore. This is going to ignore certain files when you do your Git pushes, so that you're not posting files that shouldn't be posted, right? Like password files and personal files and things like that. And so now we got a RSS parser. It created this file, and we've got 118 lines of code in that file. Um, Now we're doing a database storage module. And so it also tells you down here below near the chat the files it's created, how many lines there are, all of that, all of that. So let's see what's going on. It's still working. Time is it? We should be. It's 58. 2 minutes. You might be able to have a Telegram bot in 2 minutes,
Man, that would be so dope.
and then we got the database. That is another 288 lines of code that I did not have to write myself.
And it's just basically gonna funnel and just send updates.
Yeah.
Will it create push notifications, like, or is it just gonna feed?
It probably can create push notifications. I'm trying to read the code to see what it's doing.
Mm.
This is a database, so we're gonna be saving stuff here. So the RSS parser. Let's see. It's gonna fetch the feed. We're gonna have to figure out. So we're gonna have to probably put in a way to set the different feeds that we want to have. Um, I don't see that, but it might be in here. Probably. Okay, check if URL is a valid URL. And it also puts notes, comments into the code. So it kind of tells you, okay, this function, this definition right here, parse date, is gonna parse publication date from entry. It's gonna pull the date from the RSS item that it pulled. I don't know what a single article is called from an RSS feed. I don't know what to call those, but each of these definitions or methods or functions has a little comment that tells you what it's supposed to do, which is very, very helpful because obviously if you just write functions and start doing stuff and you don't document it, then it's going to be really hard to maintain your code. But VS Code makes it very easy. VS Code Agent makes it very easy to understand what the code is doing by putting comments and making it. Look at that! It's even going to create a README and complete the documentation so you know exactly what you need to do and what's going on. It's a powerful Telegram bot that allows users to subscribe to RSS feeds and receive real-time updates directly in their Telegram chats. Subscribe to RSS feeds with simple commands, automatic RSS feed monitoring and updates, SQL-like database for reliable data storage, multi-user support with subscription management, rate limiting user subscription. So it's even putting account management stuff in there, so we can have um, rate limits, so that people can't just spam the chat with tech links all day long. You've got accounts and things like that, and so it gives you prerequisites. It gives you how to install everything. It tells you, you grab your bot token. Um, So yeah, I mean, like, if we really wanted to, we could have a series where we like, there's a Reddit community or a Twitter community called Build in Public. We could build, really could build stuff for our Telegram channel on stream. All right, we're gonna work on the Telegram bot today, or whatever the case is, or we're gonna work on our Discord server, and we're gonna use AI to work on the Discord server. Um, and so what? Did we make it? It's 11:01, and we have a fully functioning. Well, I think it's fully functioning. Telegram bot. We haven't tested it yet, but we got Telegram bot. We got documentation for that Telegram bot, and we got instruction on how to run that Telegram bot. And so all it was, and that was a single prompt.
Yeah, I say we're winning. Like, that's amazing on so many levels. Again, it's not that we don't know our capabilities, but I think it's the conversation in and of itself is one that we definitely have to continue to have, because this just scratched the surface. Ivy, shout out to you for being super dope. But
Yeah,
also,
amazing.
the creativity here, it's like we really can build anything. So
Anything,
this is dope. Dope, dope.
literally anything you can verbalize can be created. And this was a poor. This wasn't even really a good description. Create an RSS feed Telegram bot in Telegram in the Telegram folder. That's not very descriptive. That's that it just kind of like, okay, what would an RSS feed in Telegram do? All right, let's make that. Right? Like if you want specific things, you can mention, hey, I want a Telegram bot that's got access controls and rate limiting, and I wanted to auto summarize the articles. I want to send the articles, or I want to have a command where it can send the article to an LLM, and the LLM can provide back a response that summarizes the article. I want I wanted to be able to I wanted to be able to take two different articles and send them to an LLM and use them as a source for whatever. Like whatever you wanted to do, if you can verbalize it properly, you can even ask it like, "Hey, I want to make a Telegram bot that's RSS feed. Does this make sense?" Right? That's really simple. But like, I want to do some complex thing. Does that make sense? And they'll be like, "Yeah, that makes sense. You want to do one, two, three, four, five," and then you say, "Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I want to do. Go forth and be great." And yeah, but
Go
yeah, it is
forth
11
and be
o'clock. We
great.
are a little bit over our time. But that was our AI show. We're definitely gonna do this a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
more. We still got
Hella interesting.
Very.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool too. VS Code. I really love VS Code. For this specific purpose. Uh, so the one thing that I do want to end with is that I'm a big proponent of local AI. I have a slew of models. I've got several different computers. I've got three computers that have AI inference capabilities. They're not the strongest computers by any measure, but they are, relatively cheap hardware on these computers. I got a 4070 Super and I got a 5070, a 5060 actually, sorry. These are lower end graphics cards that are less than $1,000. You can probably get, if you depending on if you have a computer or not already, you can probably get something within the $500 range, depending on what if you have anything already. If you don't have anything already, it could cost you between $500 to $1,000 for an AI capable computer if you have nothing already. And you can host your model. So right now we're using Claude Sonnet, which is obviously or maybe not obviously, but it's the Anthropic model. And we actually didn't get to talk about all the other stuff we had, but
Oh, we sure did.
we did talk
Yeah.
about Charlie Kirk. But so that's because of that. But I want to figure out how to get this same level of functionality in a local model, so that I don't have to give all my ideas to Claude or Anthropic and have them training their data model or data sets on my ideas and my data.
Yeah,
Um,
I was gonna say this would be a perfect like mini project or projects to like build also that mesh network and be able to run it on a
Mhm.
Raspberry Pi
Yeah.
absolutely,
out in the community
Yeah.
and getting
absolutely.
the AI model to build. But baby steps, or shall we say, black large steps, or whatever you want to call it. But
In our own time and speed. Yeah, this is I think he might. I know he's using. I think he was using two computers, but this was dope, and I do believe that uh, we will be
also
revisiting
learn
the topic. Go ahead.
Yeah, and just learn how to
Yeah,
build these systems ourselves for ourselves.
for sure.
Um,
We have to. We must. We absolutely must. Oh, I think he's come back on. I think he was
Yeah,
connecting with you.
my phone died. But
Oh no. We back to the chopped and screwed.
my phone died and then my headset just died. So it's all bad right now. Um can y'all hear me? Hello, hello?
the screen's still up though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still here. My phone died and then my headset
Can
died.
you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? All right. Yeah, my phone had
Yeah,
died
we can hear you.
and then my head.
Symbolic, you there?
But yeah, everything is telling me that it's time for me to go ahead and wrap it up.
Yes, that's not go to bed.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wrap
for
it
sure.
up.
Building. Shout out to
Yeah.
Symbolic for having beach fun and still making it. Shout out to G as always bringing the real. This has been wonderful, fam. Mad
Yeah.
love.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See you next week, everybody.
Yep. Appreciate everybody coming through.
Yeah.
And until next time.